You know, something really profound is happening in the world of finance. We're seeing this massive shift away from the radical transparency of the first blockchains towards a whole new architecture of confidentiality. We're talking about private DeFi. So let's dive in because this is changing literally everything.
To really get why this matters so much, just ask yourself this one simple question. What if your bank account was just a public web page? I mean everything. Every paycheck, every cup of coffee you buy, every single investment, your entire financial history just out there for the whole world to see. It sounds totally absurd, right? But honestly, in the world of public blockchains, that's pretty much the default setting. And that really gets us to the heart of the issue. The very thing that made early blockchains so revolutionary, that they were completely transparent, also created this huge, glaring problem. It basically built our financial system inside a glass house, where every single move is visible to everyone, all the time.
And this really shows you the double-edged sword of that early tech. The promise? It was incredible. A system where you don't have to trust anyone, with records that can never be changed. But the cost for all that was this radical transparency, which led to massive data leaks and opened the door for all sorts of bad actors to exploit the system.
Now, this transparency isn't just some abstract privacy concern. It's a security nightmare. You've got these predatory bots that are constantly scanning the network looking for any opportunity. They can see your trades before they happen and jump in front of you. That's called front running. They can even reorder transactions to squeeze out profit for themselves, something we call MEV, or maximal extractable value. And if you're a business, it means all your sensitive financial movements are totally exposed to your competitors. Let's walk through how this actually works. A classic example is the sandwich attack. Say you want to make a big purchase. A bot sees your order sitting in the public waiting room, the mempool. Instantly, it jumps ahead and buys the same asset, which pushes the price up just a little bit. Then, your trade goes through, but at that new, slightly worse inflated price. And the moment it does, the bot sells its position, pocketing the difference. You just got scalped, and it was only possible because your intentions were public knowledge.
Okay, so how in the world do we fix this? Well, the answer is in this really powerful suite of cryptographic tools. You can think of them as the building blocks for a financial cloak of invisibility, designed to solve this transparency mess without giving up the security of the blockchain.
Now, there's no single magic bullet here. Instead, developers have a whole toolkit of options, things like zk-SNARKs, zk-STARKs, TEs, and FHE. And as you can see, each one comes with its own trade-offs between trust, speed, and cost. So for developers, picking the right tool for the job is absolutely crucial to building an effective private financial system.
Probably the most famous of these tools are zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs. And the concept behind them is just pure genius. It lets you prove that something is true without revealing the secret information that makes it true. It's kind of like proving you know a secret password without ever actually saying the password out loud. In the world of finance, this means you can prove you have enough money for a transaction without ever revealing your total account balance. It's a game changer.
Another way to tackle this is with hardware. Trusted Execution Environments, or TEEs, are like a secure vault built right into a computer's processor. Code and data can be processed inside this black box, totally isolated from everything else. This gives you incredible speed, but it does mean you have to place your trust in the hardware manufacturer to have built it correctly and securely.
And then you have what feels like actual magic. Fully Homomorphic Encryption, or FHE. This is the cryptographic holy grail. It lets you perform calculations directly on encrypted data. You can add numbers, multiply them, run all sorts of complex logic, all while the data remains completely scrambled and unreadable. It's like doing math on secrets, while they stay secret.
All right, so we've seen the problem, and we've looked at the incredible cryptographic toolkit. Now let's see how these tools are actually being used to build real-world systems. This isn't just theory anymore. This stuff is being deployed right now to create a whole new private financial reality. A perfect example of this is the Aztec Network. It's what's called a Layer 2, meaning it runs on top of Ethereum to add new features. And in this case, that big feature is programmable privacy. It's quickly become the go-to platform for any developer who wants to build truly confidential applications.
So here's the key difference in how Aztec works. On Ethereum, your account just has a public balance that everyone can see. But Aztec uses a note system, which is a lot more like digital cash. Each of your assets is an encrypted note. To spend it, you essentially destroy the old note and create a new one, all while keeping the value and ownership completely hidden. This is how it hides your balance and your entire transaction history.
So, with this new architecture in place, we can completely redesign the core services of DeFi, things like lending and trading. We're literally rebuilding them from the ground up, but this time with privacy as the default setting, not just an afterthought.
Just take a look at lending. In public DeFi, your collateral, your liquidation price, it's all out in the open. This lets bots go on liquidation hunts, specifically targeting positions that are close to failing. But in private lending, your collateral is shielded. You use a zero-knowledge proof, in this case a range proof, to prove you have enough collateral without revealing any of the specific details. This is huge for protecting borrowers from those kinds of targeted attacks.
And this completely solves the problem we started with, trading. On a public exchange, your intention to swap is visible, which is basically an open invitation for those MEV sandwich attacks. But on a private exchange, your swap is encrypted. The exchange can process the entire trade without ever knowing what you're buying or selling. This shuts down front-running cold and creates a much fairer market for everybody.
So what does all of this mean for the big picture? I mean, we are talking about massive implications for institutional finance, for regulation, and really for the entire blueprint of our financial system moving forward.
Of course, there's a natural tension here. Regulators all over the world, from the EU with its MiCA rules to global bodies like the FATF, are pushing for more transparency to fight crime and illicit finance. And this obviously creates a direct conflict with technologies that are designed from the ground up for privacy.
But the solution here is just so elegant. It's called zk-KYC. This combines those zero-knowledge proofs with the know your customer compliance that regulators require, so you can prove to a system that you are a verified user, that you're not on a sanctions list, all without ever revealing your actual identity on the blockchain. It really is the best of both worlds. You get regulatory compliance, and you get user privacy.
And you should make no mistake, this is not some niche little experiment. As of 2025, there's over $28 billion locked in protocols that are using this zero-knowledge tech. This sector is seeing absolutely explosive growth.
And this technology is exactly what the big money has been waiting for. A recent survey from Goldman Sachs found that 83% of institutional investors are planning to increase their exposure to private market strategies. For them, on-chain privacy isn't just a nice-to-have feature, it's the critical piece of infrastructure they need to protect their strategies and actually enter the digital asset space at scale.
When you boil it all down, this is about way more than just hiding transactions. The real vision here is to create programmable privacy, to embed confidentiality deep into the base layer of the financial internet, making it the default setting for every single application and interaction.
And that really leaves us with a big question to think about. After decades of building financial systems that were either centralized and closed off, or decentralized and totally transparent, are we finally on the verge of building one that's both decentralized and private by default? The technology is here. The demand is obvious. The next chapter of finance is being written right now.